everyone. Welcome back to the Regenerative Business Podcast with Sam Garcia. And right now, I am writing a really fun chapter in my upcoming book, Radical Riches. And I actually would love for you to be a part of it. So this chapter is on practical magic, and it walks you through setting up a money bowl, one of the simplest, most delightful, and honestly, strangely potent prosperity rituals in my toolkit. I have plenty of stories from my own life, but I would really love real stories from real people walking this path with me to include in the book. Now, if you listened to last week's podcast, you heard about my new writing ritual, and it's been really, really shocking how quickly words are adding up in the book. I'm now at 47,000 words, and the average nonfiction book is anywhere between 30,000 words to 90,000 words. So I'm like, I'm in the range. I'm in the range to actually be able to finish this book. I could be done if I was actually done writing, but I have a lot more chapters to go that I'd wanted to include in this book. So we're going to see what the final word count ends up being, or if I have to edit a ton of stuff out, or if this ends up having to be two different books because there's so much I want to include in here. No, I'm going to fit it all into one book. It might just be a holy grail of a book. And so this is Radical Riches for radical witches doing radical shit in the world. And it's set up into 3 sections. Radical Riches, which is how to actually make lots of money in your business. Radical Witches, which is the identity piece of this to actually allow it to come through. And then Radical Shit, which is getting really anchored into what you're actually doing with all of this excess money that is coming into your life, and how all of this can fuel each other, where the riches can fuel the identity fuels the riches, the radical shit is inspiring you to make more money, and the more money allows you to do more radical shit. So I'm really excited about it. But anyways, we're here today to talk about this money bowl. And in this podcast episode, I'm going to walk you through how to make a money bowl. I'm also going to include some general instructions down in the show notes. Go ahead and make a money bowl this week using these instructions, and then tell me what happens. You can email us at magic@thedirtyalchemy.com. Respond to any of my emails if you're on my email list. And if you'd like, I may include your experience in the book, anonymized or with your name attached, whatever you prefer, your choice. Now, maybe the money bowl creates a tiny synchronicity in your life. Maybe you have a random check in the mail. Maybe you have a wild launch day, a new client, groceries gifted at the perfect moment, or cash discovered in an old pocket. Yes, that what happens. And I would love to hear it all, or even one tiny little thing. But of course, first, you have to make the money bowl. And now, even if you never report back to me, this is a fun, easy spell you can do with things that you likely have on hand. And you can kind of think of it as a tiny altar to wealth, to opportunity, to flow. And obviously, this is a spiritual and creative practice. This is not financial advice. I am not certified in any way to give you financial advice. And if you do share, and whether or not you want to have your name included with it in the book, I would love to see photos. I will not be including photos in the book, but I personally love seeing people's altars, and a money bowl, like I already said, is like a mini altar, and you can make it so beautiful. And there's so much customization you can do with it, as you'll see in a moment. So I'd love to see your photos. Okay, let's get into this. First of all, there's no one right way to do this. The money bowl works because it gives your intention a home. And it invites movement. Money in, money out, attention in, gratitude out. Think of it as an ongoing conversation with abundance, with the spirit of money, with whatever energy or deity you associate with abundance. And if this ritual is new to you, if magic in general is new to you, you're welcome to swap the word magic for meaningful habit. The psychology still holds. When we anchor our attention and act consistently, opportunities tend to organize around that intention. This is a way to invite your unconscious mind to the table. So, how to make your money bowl? First of all, grab a small bowl that you love. We're going to be building this in layers. You're welcome to use what you have. You're also welcome to find some beautiful little bowl. Go to a thrift shop, go to Goodwill. There's always so many fun things that other people have discarded. Like Goodwill is one of my favorite places to get stuff for the altar because you just don't know what you're going to find. And now, once you have your bowl, our first step is to add your base, and you're going to pick one. You're going to either pick rice, oats or beans, or salt. Now, rice is a very classic signifier of abundance and harvest. Oats or beans are associated with prosperity and nourishment. And then salt is associated with stability and protection. You're going to choose one of those, rice, oats, beans, or salt. And if you do choose rice, some folks dye their rice green, and that's as simple as mixing the rice with some food dye or some spirulina. You can also mix together rice and salt in a splash of water, and it kind of sets it into a firm base. That's totally optional. Okay, so once you have your base chosen, our next ingredient is actual money. You can choose one or mix and match a lot of these. So these are bills, so like dollars or whatever currency that is native to your land, coins. You can put in money earned from joyful work. You can include money that is tips if you have a tip-based job. You can include foreign currency if you want international opportunities. And if you happen to have a $2 bill, this is sometimes considered a lucky charm, so adds a little bit of lucky charm energy in there. Now with this, and I'll remind you of this later, this is stuff that you're going to put into your money bowl now, but then you'll be taking it out again and putting different money in and out and in because money likes movement. Currency requires a current of movement. So you don't want to like put this all at the bottom where you can't access it. This is something you want to actually make sure is accessible in the bowl so you can take it in and put more in, take it out, put more in. So you can use the money when you need it and then replenish it later. This is a part of the magic of it. Okay, our third type of ingredient is herbs and spices. Now, there are tons of herbs and spices that are associated with tons of different things. There's tons of herbs and spices associated with money and abundance and prosperity. I'm going to name a handful, but if you want to look in your cupboard, look in your pantry and see what you have, and you can just Google whatever spice, turmeric. What is turmeric associated with in magic? What are turmeric correspondences? You'll be able to find the meaning or the association of that herb or spice. And it might align or it might not align. You might want to use it. You might not want to use it, but don't feel the need to go out and get new herbs and spices for this. So a few common ones that are good for this. First of all, cinnamon. Cinnamon attracts money quickly. It also clears blocks. You can use bay leaves. What's fun with bay leaves is you're able to write on them. So you can write an intention on the bay leaf or a certain dollar amount on them. Pumpkin spice is a great one. All of the spices within pumpkin spice are very prosperity oriented. You can use mint or mint tea, cloves, ginger, nutmeg. You can use parsley, dill, or rosemary. So these are very common herbs and spices. If there's ones that you're naturally attracted to working with, allow that to be an intuitive nudge in what direction to go in. Or put them all in. Go for it. Okay, so our fourth type of ingredient is symbols of wealth and attraction. And this is where you can look up symbols of wealth and attraction or just think to yourself, what do I consider to be symbols of wealth and attraction? So maybe it is gold jewelry or shiny beads. It could be a magnet or a lodestone. And unless you're a practicing witch, you probably don't have any lodestone on hand, but that's a fun ingredient that you can look up if you're curious. You can use a tiny frog or a tiny elephant or a little rabbit figurine or anything you associate with a lucky charm. This can be an opportunity to look in your ancestral line. What did my ancestors consider to be lucky charms? You can include a small guardian figurine. You can include a little die, like a dice, a little die that's green. This is associated with playful luck. And really anything green, gold, luxe, sparkly. You can spritz it with your favorite perfume or a scent that anchors memory and luxury energy. Okay, and then our fifth type of ingredient is your written intention. So on a sheet of paper, it can just be like any old sheet of paper, or you can get some nice piece of paper or colored piece of paper. And you're going to write this in present tense. And you want to be specific enough to feel it. That's different for different people. You could write something like, I attract wealth, stability, and joyful opportunities. You could write something like, money flows to me easily. You could write a specific dollar amount. You could write, I am supported and resourced. I always have more than enough. Take a little bit of time with this and identify something that actually makes you feel something positive. If you know how to create sigils, you can put a hand-drawn sigil for prosperity on the bowl or in the bowl. And you can either put your affirmation inside the bowl or underneath it. Okay, and now our sixth ingredient is a crystal. This is completely optional. Of course, make sure they are ethically sourced crystals. Now, there are lots of crystals associated with wealth and abundance, but it could be like pyrite, citrine, malachite, jade, green aventurine, peridot, clear quartz, or any type of crystal that you have a relationship with. And our seventh type of ingredient, our final type of ingredient, is a bit of fire energy. So find a little candle to go in here. I found some really nice colored beeswax candles that are birthday candles. So they're like small, like birthday candles, but they're colored and they're great for magical practices. You can use any color you have on hand, but green, gold, or yellow definitely hold the right energy for this. And once you have your bowl assembled, you're going to activate it. But let me do a quick recap of our types of ingredients that we want to include. So the actual bowl, then we want our base, rice, oats, beans, or salt. You want to add money into the bowl. You want to add herbs and spices into the bowl. You want to include symbols of wealth and attraction. You want to include your written intention. You can include crystals if you like, and then a candle. So how we activate your money bowl, because before we actually want to use it, we want to charge it. And this is where the spell takes on life. So first of all, I really like to cleanse all of the ingredients. If you have sage on hand, you can just sage everything. But you can use other types of incense. You can use an herb bundle. You can use a cinnamon stick for cleansing. You can use sound to cleanse. So a bell, a chime. You can actually clap your hands as a way to cleanse. And then you can also use your breath to cleanse. So 3 slow exhales over the bowl. And we're just seeing everything as clean, as reset. You can see in your mind's eye all of the ingredients filled and cleared with white light. Then you will assemble the bowl. So put all the ingredients together, put it together in a way that visually excites you or delights you. And once it is assembled, you're going to put your hands over the bowl and hover like you're warming them by a fire and speak your intention out loud or silently in present tense. You can feel the energy of what that intention is in your heart and allow it to flow down your arms, through your hands, into your money bowl. You want to feel like you already have it. So if you already had the intention of the bowl in your life, you're surrounded by that, what would it feel like? And feel that as big as you can in your body. You want to sense the reality of on the other side of your desire. Let that feeling fill your chest, your belly, your whole field. And if you can feel it for 90 seconds, that would be incredible. But even 10 to 15 seconds is beautiful. And then you can imagine that emotion, that sensation, those feelings to soak into your bowl. And just to seal it, you can clap 3 times and say, it is done. And then you're going to place it somewhere meaningful. This could be on an altar that you already have, on a bookshelf, on your desk. It could be by the front door to catch money. It could be on your dresser. It could be on the wealth corner of your house, according to feng shui, which is if you're standing inside your front door facing in, it is on the far left corner of your home. And then after we activate it, it is not done. We do not want our money bowl to be stagnant because, again, money likes movement. Currency likes a current. So we don't want our money bowl to lose its charge. So you want to decide now or find a way to create a ritual and a routine around maintaining the energy. If you work with a planetary deity like Jupiter or Venus, you can, on their day, so Thursday for Jupiter or Friday for Venus, you can put more money into your money bowl, take some money out of your money bowl, spritz it with more perfume, light the candle, whatever you want to do to be in relationship with it. You could light the candle daily. Every time you're going out to do something, you can take a little money out and put a little money in. You could refresh the rice or whatever your base is in the herbs every new moon. Definitely replace the candle when it burns down. You could spritz it with an abundance spray whenever you pass by it. You could whisper gratitude into it each time you feed it. If you have any jewelry in the bowl, you can take the jewelry out and wear it for the day and then return it at the end of the day. So it's kind of like a portable charm. And then when you have your intention, so let's say you were asking for a specific dollar amount, you can dismantle the bowl when the intention is complete. So if you're pivoting, if something is changing, you're welcome to actually dismantle that bowl and start a fresh new one with a fresh new intention. So as you can see, this is so simple to do. This is so simple to put together. You probably have all of the ingredients on hand already. Once you have it assembled, you want to actually notice all of the abundance in your life and feel the connection between that abundance and your money bowl. This really anchors in and invites more in. And of course, money is not the only thing that counts as abundance. So notice everything. Cash, yes, but also discounts, gifts, bills covered, refunds, upgrades, invitations, new clients, referrals, paid in fulls, groceries handed to you, surprise babysitting, free flights, faster timelines. An amazing idea, creativity pouring through you. Notice every little thing, and that will amplify it. You can even start a note in your notes app or a sticky note by your actual money bowl and log the wins. This trains your brain to keep the channel open. Now, if you go and you make your money bowl and you start seeing little or big things ping in, I would love to include your story about this money magic inside of my upcoming book, Radical Riches. So if you make your bowl this week, then email me your experience. That's magic@thedirtyalchemy.com. Small wins, big wins, funny synchronicities, random cash finds, all of it. In that email, tell me if you prefer to be kept anonymous or you want to have your name associated with it. And if you're happy for me to quote you in the book or tell your story in the book, I would love, love, love to include you. And if you didn't know, I actually have a pre-readers club for Radical Riches. So if you want to read along as I write the book, that's how you do it. This is where wealth is a fuel for change in the world, where business is a potent vehicle for activism. If you want to write a book someday, this can be an epic way to see a best-selling neurodivergent author's writing process. You get the first draft of chapters as I write them. You have the opportunity to give me feedback, and then you'll get a signed author copy of the book when it's ready to publish. I'll include a link to that if you want to join the pre-readers club. There's already chapters written and many more chapters to come. I just did a big spurt of writing, so I think we're going to be delivering like 5 more chapters in the coming couple weeks once those are all finished and edited. So thank you for joining me for this episode. For my witches and wealth workers, go make your money bowl and then tell me what happens so I can weave your story into Radical Riches. I cannot wait to celebrate your magic, and I will talk to you next week.